What's up, guys? Happy Sunday fun day. Welcome into Let's Bet It. Lauren Jabbar here with Mark Zinno. Zinno, some crazy games we witnessed last night. How are you doing this morning? I know you're going to get some French toast after the show. How are you feeling? Sunday fun day.
I feel good. And as somebody who likes to frequent bars, of all the bars that I love, J Bar, you're my favorite. So welcome in here this morning.
Oh, that's honestly, that made my week. That's a great way to start the week. Also, a fun debate for us. The weekend, does the week start on Sunday or does the week start on Monday?
The week definitely starts on Monday.
It starts on Sunday.
Well, yes, officially it starts on Sunday, but my brain doesn't actually start functioning until Monday. This is the most brain pain you're going to get out of me the whole day.
Okay, I'm glad that you're in French toast and just sit there on hockey and baseball all day today. Speaking of, we're talking all of it. We have Better Up segment talking about the acronyms tough MLB games today. Lots on the slate. Then we have our NHL Ice Picks. Only about 10 days left in the regular season, so we want to break it all down for you. And then we have to get into our NBA morning radar because some of these games that we're watching, some of these series, how they're unfolding, a little different than maybe what we expected at the beginning. And then we can't end without our Pickswise 3-star play of the day and our best bets of the day. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's bet it with Better Up. Okay, YRFIs and NRFIs. We've been doing it every single show now. Yesterday, YRFIs were 11-5. Just how are you doing on your YRFI NRFI picks so far? And which YRFI NRFIs do you have today?
Well, I would like to put Ian Anderson in my graveyard, right next to Alex Glaze and Will Wade. First pitch of the game, he gives up a home run yesterday on a NRFI. It was a bolt to the back of the head. So he's dead to me. That's that. It's one thing to lose a NRFI. It's another thing to do it on the very first pitch of the darn game. So he's dead to me. My NRFI failed me. I tried to go back to the well. It's the second time this year I've backed Ian Anderson in a game, and I'm 0 for 2. Dead. Done. So we're going in a completely different direction today.
Okay. What do you got? What do you got for yours?
My NRFI is actually the Sunday night game between Milwaukee and Philadelphia. You get Eric Lauer on the mound for Philadelphia. For Milwaukee. Aaron Nola for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, Lauer has given up no runs in his first two starts of the year. And Nola has yet to give up a run in the first inning of his first 3 starts this year. And this was kind of what pushed me over. Milwaukee is a team that averages giving up 1 run in the first inning on the year. However, at home, that number gets cut in half. They're down to a half run at home given up. So with the Sunday night game, I'm hoping guys will be a little bit tense here. You know, first time these guys will be on Sunday night game. Not that they'd be tense for Sunday night baseball per se or anything like that, but I just like the starting pitching matchup here. And again, with Milwaukee being at home where they are less prone to give up first inning runs against an Aaron Nola guy who's not going to allow Milwaukee to score, I have a good confidence in that. I'll take the NRFI at -115.
And then I'm also on a NRFI today. I'm going to talk about that. Then you get into your NRFI that you have. I like the Padres NRFI actually, and it is juiced. I'm paying 50 cents for it, but Clayton Kershaw taking on Chaminade. And it's a battle of the West Coast right now. Kershaw is 2-0 so far in the season, 3.0 ERA, xFIP of 0.80, which is pretty good. Or 0.80 of 80, whatever. NRFI, Kershaw, 4-1 in the last 5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5 road games, and 4-1 in his last 5 against the Padres. That's pretty good for the NRFI. Now with Chaminade, he's 2-1 on the year so far this season. 1.42 ERA, 3.14 xFIP. But he's 1-1. Even though he's 1-1 on the year, he's 3-2 in the last 5 in terms of NRFIs. 4-1 in his last 5 home games in terms of NRFIs. And you can't bank on a team like the Dodgers scoring runs when there's a lefty on the mound. They're 29th in OPS and 27th in WRC plus against lefties this season. So I feel pretty good about the NRFI in this spot, even though it is pretty juiced, paying 50 cents for it. But at the same time, I'm laying it, baby. I don't bet YRFIs and NRFIs a lot, but when I do, I feel very confident about them. You're on a YRFI though, and they went 11-5 yesterday. Tell me more.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Texas and Oakland, game in the Oakland Coliseum here, which doesn't necessarily lead to scoring a lot of runs. But
there's so many fans there.
Yeah, I know. Texas has given up the most first inning runs at 1.3 in Major League Baseball here. Again, this is a problem for the Texas Rangers as their pitching staff has been really, really erratic. However, they're taking on an Oakland team right now that is playing above their heads, really. I mean, they're 3-3 at home. They're 5-5 on the road. So this is an Oakland team that isn't, is playing better than what people expected. I think we thought Oakland would end up playing like the Cincinnati Reds here, but just following the trend, not a big play for me on the YRFI that Texas is going to give up a run here in the first inning.
I like it. I like it. Got some YRFIs, got some NRFIs, and we also got some plays today. For me, I look at a game like the Cardinals taking on the Reds. I love the Cards this year. They're so good. Cards money line -144. Lock it in for me. They have Adam. Did you just hear my Michigan accent come out? Adam. Did you hear that? No, that was.
I heard it. I tried to not draw any attention to it.
That was horrible. Adam Wainwright on the mound. He's had a good start of the season, 2.8081 ERA, and he has an XFIP of 2.64. He hasn't won a start against the Reds since August of 2020, but the Reds this year, garbage, trash. Take them out back. They rank last in OPS and WRC plus against right-handed pitching. They're also dead last in the league in runs per game. Now, since he does have Nick Lodolo on the mound, he's thrown 9 innings so far, 2 starts this season, 0-2 record, 8.00 ERA, but only a 3.43 XFIP, which is still decent. But he's facing a real test against the Cards offense. They're second in OPS and WRC plus. The Cards are just really good this season, and the Reds have dropped 8 straight games and allowed 5 runs in their last game. The Cards have won 4 straight against the Reds and 6 of 7 in Cincy. There's good value with St. Louis here, laying, I think, 44 cents. So I like the Cards money line at -144. What other baseball bets do you have today, Zeno? Tell me more.
All right, we're going to go to a K prop. This worked out well for me yesterday with Jose Urquidy and him going under, and I'm using the same process here just by shopping around and getting better value. So let's go to Aaron Savale of the Cleveland Guardians, who's facing the New York Yankees. Some background after the trash display from the fans, really low rent, low budget kind of stuff from Yankee fans, and I'm a Yankee fan. There's no room for that stuff. So Cleveland will come out extra motivated today after getting walked off and having trash thrown at him to win this game. But Aaron Savale this year, he's made 2 starts. One start was against the Kansas City Royals. He struck out 3 guys in 3 1/3. Now, Kansas City has the lowest K rate of any team in Major League Baseball this year. His second start was against the San Francisco Giants. He struck out 5 guys in 4 innings. San Francisco, a team that strikes out about 9.5 times a game, much more comparable to the Yankees, who are at about 8.6 strikeouts per game. So they're in that same range right now. Now, when you shop around, you can find 3.5 on DraftKings for his K prop, for Savale's K prop, but the over is -170. I found it on FanDuel at 4.5 at +112. That's an 82 cents difference. And I'm going to put the over here at plus money, +112 on Aaron Savale over 4.5 Ks. Again, purely just the difference in the amount of juice that I'm paying. In this case, I'm getting plus money. Worked out yesterday with me with Jose Urquidy and taking the under 3.5 as opposed to under 4.5. He only hit 3. We cashed that ticket. So it's the same process here. I'm also going to back the Seattle Mariners today against the Kansas City Royals. They've won the first 2 games in this series. And although laying it on the run line at -1.5 isn't always the best play, +1.5 is probably the safest play you can make in Major League Baseball as far as consistent bets are over the long haul. But it's plus money at +114. I get Robbie Ray on the mound for the Seattle Mariners. You get Carlos Hernandez for the Royals. He's got a 7.27 ERA. His whip is just under 2. He's given up 14 hits in 8 2/3 innings this year. This is a Seattle offense that's 5th in Major League Baseball in runs scored per game at 4.8 runs. The Kansas City Royals, 28th in Major League Baseball, averaging just 3 runs per game. Plus Robbie Ray, last year against Kansas City, only allowed the Royals to bat 211 against him.
Wow.
Give me the Mariners -1.5 on the run line.
I like it, baby. Lots of baseball bets for the 2 of us today. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's have a Sunday, shall we, Zeno?
Amen.
Shall we?
Crack a cold one and enjoy it.
Let's take it to the ice because there's only about 10 days left in the NHL regular season. Pretty crazy that we're already in NBA postseason. NHL postseason, excuse me, is right around the corner. 11 games on the slate tonight. A lot of these teams playing in the second half of back-to-back. Zeno, you have nothing on the ice tonight, right?
No, I did look. Listen, I was going to the one play I would have made was to back the pick that you had. I don't want to give it away.
Okay,
I'll do it. It's just sort of a fade of the team that they're playing.
Yes. Yeah. So this is also my best bet of the day. So I'm not going to give a super descriptive thing right now. I'm going to wait for that for the best bet of the day. But I do like the Lightning taking on the Panthers. I like the Lightning money line, and I like the value I'm getting at, plus 106. Both teams are in the second half of back-to-back. The Lightning rolled over Nashville yesterday, 6-2. The Panthers just squeaked by the Leafs, 3-2. But the Lightning, they just have more to play for right now. They want to guarantee their spot in the Atlantic Division playoffs. They're 16 points behind the Panthers right now. Obviously not going to catch them, but they're only 6 points behind Toronto at this point. And you look at them defensively, offensively, they're in the top 10 of the league in both. Now, the Panthers had their 12th straight win beating Detroit on Thursday, their 13th straight win beating the Leafs yesterday. They're not going to have 14 straight wins in a row. Florida does have the slight advantage here because they don't need to travel, but I mean, it's a little puddle jumper plane from Tampa to Sunrise, Florida. So the Panthers really don't have anything to play for at this point. They want to maintain momentum, yeah, but Tampa Bay is trying to hold off Boston in the race for the third guaranteed spot in the Atlantic. They just have a little more to play for. So give me Tampa Bay here in this spot, money line, plus 106. Lock it in on the ice. That's my only ice play today. A lot of the other games, like, they're good, but I just don't love the value as much that I'm getting for the teams that I like in those spots. So I'm just going to enjoy watching some good hockey today. Well, not betting on it, but the bet I'm making, Lightning money line at plus 106. Let's take it.
The only motivation that Florida has is to become the fourth team ever to get 60 wins in a regular season. That's really the only motivation they have.
Yeah.
Just to be part of that group. And the Tampa Bay Lightning were a team that did it a couple of years ago, but
yeah,
that's really the only thing that they're playing for, and I don't know that that matters all that much.
And then another thing for me is Bobrovsky started last night for the Panthers. They have goal tonight. Now, Elliott started yesterday for Tampa Bay, so they have Vasilevsky in between the pipes tonight. I trust Vasilevsky a little bit more than I trust Knight for the Panthers as well. So it's also a goaltending battle where they had their starters. The Florida Panthers started Bobrovsky yesterday, so they played their number one yesterday. The Tampa Bay Lightning playing their number one goaltender tonight. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Let's take it to the NBA because obviously a lot of big games happened last night. The Nets, they're done, Zeno. They're done. Celtics go up 3-0 in the series. They win 109-103. They're done, right?
Yes. I mean, they're not going to come back and win the series. I think it's just a question of whether they make this somewhat respectable, maybe win a couple of games and lose in 6. I mean, there's an argument to be made that literally they could be up 3-0. They're not. And part of the reason that they're not is because Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving haven't played to the level of the superstar that they are. I mean, you can't get 16 points from Kevin Durant and 16 points from Kyrie Irving in a regular season game, much less a playoff game, and expect to win. It's not a formula for success for the Nets.
I know. It is crazy. So looking at some of the stats, 89 of 144 series where a team led 3-0 won game 4, 62% of the time. 89 of 144. So 62% of the time, the team that's up 3-0 in a series wins that fourth game. It's going to be interesting to see how the Celtics Nets series also plays out. The Raptors, though, showing a little fight here in this one. They were down 3-0 in the series, and they come back. They're the exception. They're the outlier. They tied or they make the series 3-1. What do you think about their performance yesterday?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought Philly would sweep them. I know that they were trying to with Joel Embiid. They're going to get him back to Philadelphia, get an MRI on that thumb. And they wanted to end this thing quickly and get a little bit more rest. I guess it really boils down to, Toronto's got a lot of pride. And I think the other part too is that with the COVID restrictions in Canada being a lot different, it's not like there wasn't a packed house. Like they wanted to go see Raptors basketball, and they knew it was their last chance pretty much for the year to go and do it. So the fans showed out. They had a great environment there. Give a little bit of credit to the Raptors and Nick Nurse.
No, two of the most exciting games, the Mavs obviously taking on the Jazz. I hit my Mavs spread bet, but not quite my money line sprinkle on the Mavs. The Jazz won 100-99. We saw some fight there from the Jazz towards the end of that game, don't you think?
Yeah, but it's still a disappointing fight. Like, again, Luka's back. He scores 30 in the game. And I would expect that the Jazz would still be able to do more offensively. But, I mean, how good is Dallas's defense? I mean, it is so
good.
legit. It is so legit.
Yeah, so good. And then the Timberwolves Grizzlies, that series tied up now 2-2. So we got two exciting series going on here.
I thought Memphis would be better. I backed them yesterday and I laid the 3 points. I thought they would be better. It just didn't work out. I mean, that's the kind of offense, though, I thought we would see, that kind of offensive game. I thought we'd see the back and forth between those two teams throughout this entire series. So we kind of finally get the first game that sort of looks like it's going to mirror what we expect the two teams to do.
Yeah, the Warriors up now 3-0 against the Nuggets in the series. Are they going to be the rule, or are the Nuggets going to be the exception here, not be one of the 62% of teams that get swept by a team that's up 3-0 in a series?
They're the rule if you ask me. I'm back in Golden State today. I'm laying the 4. They've been dominant in every single statistical category, with the exception of points in the paint, which you understand because of Nikola Jokic, and rebounds. Denver has a slight rebounding advantage. But here's the problem, Laura, and here's the rub of this whole thing. I don't care if you're ahead in rebounds, and rebounds are a hugely important statistic, but I don't care if
Yeah.
you're ahead in rebounds. When you're allowing the other team to shoot 54% from the field, they're making more than they're missing. So your rebounds don't
Is
matter
that
as
what that
much.
means if it's over 50%?
Yes.
Though? Thank you.
Yes. Not only that, they're shooting 44% from 3. Denver's defense was a liability. I said it at the beginning of this series. They allow way too many shots to fall from their opponent. They just do not have what it takes here. And the likely MVP, back-to-back MVP in Nikola Jokic, is going to get swept out of the first round of the playoffs by the hot shooting Warriors.
Yeah. What about like Nikola Jokic possibly winning his second MVP? If they get swept, does that affect that at all for you?
I mean, no, because the votes are already in. It doesn't affect it for me. But yes, I think it's a indictment of maybe he shouldn't have been the MVP. And we've seen a lot of smart NBA media folks tell you that's why you don't put the MVP on a 6 seed, because they're going to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs, and it doesn't really look good for the MVP.
Yeah, we got 3 series tonight that are 2-1 so far. Obviously, the Bucks taking on the Bulls, the Heat taking on the Hawks, the Suns taking on the Pels. Which team of these 3 that's down 2-1 do you think has the best chance of coming up and tying the series and then possibly winning the series at the end?
I can't get a real good feel for the Pelican Sun series, so I would say them. And plus, with Devin Booker being out, I think they have the best chance. I mean, laying the points with Milwaukee feels a little chalky. That rhymes. I didn't do that on purpose.
Like, honestly, that's like the hardest word, Milwaukee. If you asked me to come up with 2 words that rhyme with Milwaukee, I don't think I could right now. That was very impressive.
Well, I try. We start to use big words on this show again, as we promised yesterday. So I will absolutely expand my vocabulary for you guys, and especially with alliteration and rhyming. So I'll make sure I keep it all together. That said, that's the Milwaukee team we thought was going to show up. And I talked a little bit about that yesterday. I think they show up again. The only thing that stops Milwaukee from pounding Chicago again is DeMar DeRozan going off for like 40. That's really the only thing that it's able to keep them alive. So I don't think that happens. And sadly, I don't think the Hawks can get back into this series.
Speaking of, let's get into some red hot chili propers. DeMar DeRozan over under 28.5 points for him tonight. Zeno, what do you think?
Again, I don't like it. I would lean on the under. It's a stay away from me because I'm backing Milwaukee because it's chalky. And so without DeMar DeRozan going off, I don't see them getting involved in this thing. And I think the Bucks defense, who's limited Chicago to 93 points per game, I think that 41 points from DeRozan the other night was an anomaly, and that's it. I don't think he goes off again.
Over under 7.5 assists for our boy Nikola Jokic.
I mean, I'd lean under.
High.
Yeah, I have no reason to back Denver at this point. I mean, honestly, I think their fan base knows that they're dead. I think they kind of know that they've been a fraud. I don't want to say they're a fraud. They're a paper champion, so to speak. They're just good on paper. They're not very good when it matters.
Over under 15.5 assists and rebounds for Draymond Green.
Over.
That's it. Over under Trae Young.
I mean, again, I want to be able. You have to go under. Trae has been limited to 17% shooting from 3. If he busts out and has a great game, it would be counter to what we've seen for the first 3 games in this series, the way they've defended Trae Young. So I got to go under. Plus, he's chucking a bunch up from the logo.
Yeah. Seriously, though, he has a tendency to do that. Last one, over under 34.5 points and assists for CP3.
If it goes under, I don't think that the Suns win.
Yeah.
If it goes over, that's the way it has. Without Devin Booker, it has to go over. If the Suns are going to win this thing, I would use that sort of as a barometer. And all 3 games in this series, the winner has covered as well. So I think with a short enough number, again, I find it hard to believe that, I shouldn't say I find it hard to believe.
Yeah.
It's not as likely for me to believe that the Suns would only win by a point, although obviously it could happen. I just don't think the spread is going to factor into this game. But if Chris Paul is over that number, the Phoenix should win.
Speaking of that game, I'm actually on it tonight. I like the Suns laying 2.5 points. So the Suns barely cover the spread in game 3 for me, but the Phoenix has a chance to create some space here with the win. They also probably want get some extra rest for some of those guys who have been having to be demanded more of, both physically and mentally, with Booker being out. So like DeAndre Ayton, CP3 taking most of the scoring responsibility. They both had 28 points last game. Mikal Bridges had 17, JaVale McGee 15 off the bench. Now the Pels rely so much on Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, but Valanciunas disappeared. And like he hasn't done much, right? Last game, I think he only had like 11 points and maybe 7 rebounds, something like that. CP3 is good enough to carry this Suns team. And if New Orleans plays small, in my opinion, DeAndre Ayton's going to be able to take advantage. The Suns only shot 4 of 26 from 3. They're not going to shoot that bad again in this game. I think they could have a big statement win tonight against the Pels and go up 3-1 in this series. Who are you on tonight? What are your bets that you have going into these?
I told the Golden State, I'm going to lay the 4th in. They're going to sweep Denver right out of the playoffs. Gave you the justification why. Again, Golden State shooting 54% from the field, 44% from 3. Denver's defense is a massive liability, so there's no reason to back them. And I will say one more thing about that game, though. The total has stayed consistent between 223 and 225 in that series. All 3 games have gone over. I'll play the over again. I'm not sure why there hasn't been a market correction on this thing. I can't really figure. Denver can score still. I know Golden State's defense is really good, but Denver's going to get to 110, 105, 110 in that range. There's no reason to believe that this thing isn't going over. That said, I am going to back the Miami Heat, and I did it right after the game on Friday night when the line was posted at -1.5. Objectively, Miami's just better. I don't know how to phrase it any other way. They've been dominating in every single statistical category. As I mentioned, they're limiting Trae Young to just 17% three-point shooting. The Hawks as a team are only shooting 29% from 3. And the problem for the Hawks is when they play stellar defensive teams like this, after Trae Young, they need like 3 or 4 other complementary scorers. It can't just be 1 or 2 other guys. It's not enough. And I don't know that they'll be able to do that in back-to-back games. They had 5 other guys in double figures in game 3 and snuck out a 1-point win. I don't see it happening in back-to-back games. I think Miami's content to say, we're going to lock down Trae Young. The rest of you guys go beat us. Let's see if you can do it 2 games in a row. I don't think it happens. I think the Heat win.
It's going to be interesting to see how some of these games unfold. They all start at 1 p.m. Eastern time, and we got them all throughout the day. So that's going to be exciting. Okay, before we get into our best bets of the day, Zeno, go to Pickswise.com. What do we got? 3-star, play of the day. Hit me with it.
Well, I do want to point out just real briefly that I am 2 for 2 on my last 2 3-star plays.
He's just saying, people.
Just throwing it out there. I'd like to break my arm patting myself on the back. But Brian Prouty is also where I am with the Golden State Warriors, laying the 4 points as his 3-star play of the day, his best bet. I 100% agree with him. There's no reason for me to believe that Denver is going to be able to be they'll be competitive in the game, but at the end of the day, Golden State's going to pull away. Too much hot shooting from the Warriors.
First of all, praise you. Good job, Zeno. Proud of you. Really proud of you. Go to Pickswise.com. Check out our 3-star play of the days. We're giving you nothing but the best. Okay,
I appreciate the adulation.
Oh, see, I was waiting for the 10-letter word. He got it in there. Very, very proud of you. Very proud. Again.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah, anytime. Okay, our best bets of the day. I talked a little bit about mine earlier. Lightning taking on the Panthers. I like the Lightning money line at +106. Both teams playing in the second half of back-to-back. The Lightning rolled over Nashville yesterday 6-2. The Panthers squeaked by the Leafs 3-2. The Lightning, again, have more to play for. They want to guarantee their spot in the Atlantic Division right now. They're 16 points behind the Panthers. They're not going to catch them. They're 6 points behind Toronto, but they're just right ahead of Boston right now. Now, Tampa Bay is 6th in goals against, allowing only 2.75 goals per game. They're 9th in the league in goals per game, 3.36. The Panthers had their 12th straight win beating Detroit, their 13th straight win yesterday beating the Leafs. They're not going to get 14 in a row. They are 1st in the league right now offensively with 4.18 goals per game, but only 12th in the league in goals against. Now, Florida has a slight advantage not having to travel, but for me, I look at the goaltending matchup. Bobrovsky started yesterday for them. Tonight, they're going with Knight. Yesterday, for Tampa Bay, they started Elliott. Tonight, Vasilevsky. I trust him more. The Panthers don't necessarily have as much to play for here in this spot, while Tampa Bay is trying to hold off Boston in the race for the 3rd guaranteed spot in the Atlantic. They have more to play for on the road. Vasilevsky between the pipes. I like them in the spot. Lightning money line at +106. Who you got for your best bet?
Going to go to Major League Baseball, and I'm going to take the Texas Rangers on the money line -118. Now, Texas's bugaboo this year has been their starting pitching, but they're getting probably their best starting pitcher on the mound today in Garrett Richards as they take on the Oakland Athletics, who are starting Cole Irvin, who's essentially not a Major League pitcher. He's a 4A pitcher at this point in his career. He's just not very good. Texas can score runs, and there is no concern about that. And here's the rub. Oakland this year is averaging about 4.5 runs per game. However, at home, they are second worst in Major League Baseball, averaging just 2.3 runs per game. Texas is going to beat this team today. Oakland is playing above their heads. They're probably not this good. I think we'll see a little regression from the Oakland A's this year, or at least coming in the next coming weeks. You'll see a little bit more regression from them back to where we think they're going to be. So I'll back the Texas Rangers on the money line here against the Athletics.
Love it, Zeno. Love it, Zeno. Let's have ourselves a day. Sunday fun day. That's it for us today.
Amen.
Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to Pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Mark Zeno. I'm at Lauren Jabbar. LJ. Best of luck tonight, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's bet it.